family. Okay, so I wanted to go into more detail about another huge aspect about the postpartum planning is the caretaking. And this can be caretaking of your children, caretaking of your pets, caretaking of, any kind of family member, anyone that you might be a caretaker for. Now, and just to give yourself that space for those 40 days that you can find others to fill that role. Yeah, and just going back to, in other cultures, it's more just known that like when a mom gives birth, like there's more of just this cultural norm of like the community steps in for different cultures have different lengths of time, 21 days, 40 days, it's just a given and it happens. But at least for us in the US, and I'm sure a lot of other countries, that kind of cultural support isn't as ingrained, and there is people wanting to help, but then it's not just always known how to do it. So I really think that's why taking this time to do your planning while you are pregnant still is huge, because it really just helps you to guide everyone in your circle to how they can step in and have it happen in the most organized way. So with the childcare role, this goes back down to you having reached out to your circle of people, as I mentioned in another video, making a list of all the people in your circle, your family, your friends, people that you're part of an organization with, anyone who you think would maybe want to help, and reaching out to all those people and seeing how they might want to help, and if there are people on there that feel that they could do some kind of help with I'm probably going to focus more on childcare, but feel free to think about it for like pet care and other adult care as well. But if there's people on there that say they like, yeah, I want to help with childcare, okay, great. And then this is when you want to get more details about like, okay, what's your schedule like? What days are you normally available? Okay, and then how often, in those 6 weeks, could you see yourself having capacity to do it? Once a week, once every other week, just a one-time thing, and so you have a whole list of different people and knowing their schedules more or less. And then this is where I feel like you can get a little more specific with like your 40-day calendar, like making a 40-day calendar and kind of filling in, obviously you're not going to know exactly when it's going to happen, but if you kind of know like Wednesdays is this person, every other Wednesday is this person, and kind of fill in all the little spots that you know already, and then start to look at like the gaps, like where are the gaps there, and still going back to what I mentioned before, really wanting to reach out to the community and have that support. If you have a significant other, it's so easy to think like, oh, they can, help with all the childcare or something. But we really want to focus on like the nest is for them too, and that they can have that time to like be with the baby and to like have downtime. Obviously, like they're going to be stepping in and helping in different ways, but really seeing how much you can plug in from the community, and having it just really organized ahead of time is going to just give you that much relief, knowing that that is already in place, and just less stress for you in the moment, because like with kids especially, there's a new baby coming around, it's like they're going to want attention too, and they want to be doing fun things too. If you're the one who's normally doing that for them, it's like, it's going to make you feel good knowing that like they have that attention and they have that activity coming from someone else, so you can really give yourself that permission to just be with yourself, be with the baby, and do nothing except be. That's the main point. And obviously, like, your children are going to be around you too, but if there's some kind of like daily thing at least that they're doing and have that kind of stimulation every day. So yeah, reaching out to like your circles first, seeing how people can plug in. A thing, like an idea that I had when I was pregnant with my second child and back in the cities and had more community support. I have a lot of friends with I then had a 3-year-old, so I had a lot of friends with similar age children, and this kind of goes back down to like sometimes it can be hard to like ask for help, and sometimes it can be hard to be like, okay, how many days do you want to watch my kid while I'm doing this 40-day nest thing? And I don't know, and it brings up a lot, like, oh, do I like deserve to like have this time, like, I don't know, just so much comes up, I feel like. But one idea that I did have was just like, yeah, just more and more like, if you can do trades with people, and even if you can like offer like, you can even offer like trades ahead of time, like, hey, I'm planning this 40-day thing, wondering if you think you can help with childcare in that. I'd love to, help, watch your child, pre-birth, and post-birth later on, obviously. Yeah, and just if you're not already doing that with your circle, just open up that space of like trades, and so like, yeah, when you really need it, there's people there for you. Yeah, and it's not even that you have to do that, but it's just opening up that whole culture of, yeah, supporting each other. So yeah, after you have your list of your family and friends who can help, and seeing how much space you have, if you have a lot of open gaps, this is when you can start to think about hiring someone. I don't if care.com is a great website. I've worked as a nanny before and have found a lot of great families on there. And yeah, it's a great way, like, even if you're just looking for help for those 6 weeks, and 2 days a week you don't really have anyone for your child, you can like hire someone out for those 2 days. And this is another thing too, where if you're into like doing the whole baby shower thing and all that, these are things you can ask for like help for in your baby shower. Like, hey, I want to have some childcare during my postpartum period, like, who can figure out how much that might cost, who wants to help contribute to that, and people can just like kind of contribute to that fund of like, cool, childcare postpartum, and it's like, yeah, these are definitely things to be putting on your baby registry, thinking about like the food, if someone's like, if you're paying someone to cook your food, if you're paying someone to do childcare, if you're paying someone to clean your house, figuring out what that would be, and having people contribute for that in your baby registry, because that's huge. It's everything. It's really giving yourself the permission to take these 6 weeks and fully do it, because it's like, how many times are you going to do this in your life, or how many kids are you going to have, it's like only so many, and it's just such a short window. But it's like, if you can give yourself this window of time, it's like the mother gets so filled with energy and support, that it's then she has that energy to then, after those 6 weeks, just like give back to her family in an amazing way, give back to the community in an amazing way. Now that I'm out of my nest for some time, I have three friends that are pregnant, and I'm just like so excited about their nest, and like wanting to see how I can support them, because I just know how much it meant for me, so the more we like build this into our community, the more we like truly desire to give it to someone else, because you received that and saw what a blessing it was and what a help it was. and then just becomes part of our cultural norm of like the whole community stepping in and like helping this mother like do everything that she needs to do for this little short, it feels so long but it goes by so fast, 6 weeks, to really support her. And it's just about thinking about this imprint that's left on your baby. It's like it just came out of the womb, you know? If it all of a sudden comes into this world of like busy running, da 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 da, it's just like give it that time just to like come in and feel just beingness and peace and relaxation and your full presence, because after those 6 weeks you're going to be busier, you're going to be doing other things, but if you can just have those 6 weeks of just fully being so present with your baby, that's like a foundational blueprint for your baby's entire life. So if you have a hard time doing it for yourself, do it for your baby, and then it'll do it for yourself at the same time. But that's, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, the nest, but it also can be challenging because sometimes it brings up a lot. But yeah, so think about hiring out if you need to, and just plan for that. Plan for it ahead of time and see who you can reach out for help with that if you need financial support for that. Also, like looking into, like I found my second baby was born 3 months early, so I like quickly found this preschool through the Parks and Rec department that she could like be a part of, and that was a lifesaver. So just also like looking into your community about what kind of programs might be offered, and yeah, even if you're just doing it on like a short-term basis, maybe people would be open to that if you told them what you were doing. Even just having your child be part of something for 6 weeks. If normally they're home with you, but they could be a part of something sometimes. So yeah, just start to get creative, and as you start thinking about it, it starts to fill in, and you can fill in all that care, because the more everyone around you feels nourished and supported, you're going to feel nourished and supported to do you and do your thing. So, all right, well, I'm sure I'll be adding more on this subject later, but I feel like that's a good place to start. And happy postpartum planning. I'd love to hear from you with any questions that you have. And yeah, love you, family. Aloha. Ciao.